to jump in and give his thoughts on the same game. And then ESPN NFL analyst Mina Kimes giving us the news and notes from Week 18 in the National Football League. If you missed any of it, go to the Kenny and Golick Jr. podcast, download, rate, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. But, Amber, we have now reached the portion of our show where it's time for us to go.
Well, here we are in Homme, South Dakota, or I should say, but we'll see if we can't get things going with our Vermillion streaming as well. That should be an exciting atmosphere and a good game underneath way for the Homme Cavaliers and the Vermillion Tanagers, two teams that played on Friday evening. Both are looking to get going here this week, especially with the Vermillion Tanagers, as they're on a 3-game streak now of playing games coming up tonight, tomorrow night, and as well on Friday night, and the Cavaliers open up with a bucket right away, this time from Jaden Corton, one of their top scorers. Get used to hearing that name throughout the evening. Again, we are well ahead of schedule for what we usually are for tonight, but again, the Homme Cavaliers right now lead it over the Vermillion Tanagers. Casey Hansen has along the side, gets it underneath to Leah Herbster, lays it up. This one's off the mark, stolen away from behind, and here come the Cavaliers the opposite way. Again, they leading it 2-0 tonight. In the front court, the Cavaliers have it inside the lane and going to travel. We'll get you updated on that score here with the right name coming up in just a little bit as well. As I said, usually there's this pre-checklist we go through when we come to games that we usually have about a half hour to 45 minutes to make sure everything is on track. Like I said, tonight when you get 45 minutes ahead of schedule, it makes for a quick night nonetheless. A shot off the mark for Brooke Jensen, rebounded by the Cavaliers, and what is a quiet night here on this Monday evening, just about as Vermillion fans as there are Cavalier fans. Again, this is also a makeup game from December 10th. In fact, it was supposed to be the season opener for the Vermillion Tanagers, as well as the Vermillion Tanagers as well as the Cavaliers, but this game got postponed, a re-makeup game as well. All right, back here on ESPN Radio and Vermillion streaming, as we've had certainly our difficulties here this evening, but the Vermillion girls right now are tied with the Homme Cavaliers at 8 apiece here in tonight's broadcast, as we're at the 3:08 mark of the first quarter. Again, having a little bit of technical difficulties here, but we'll work through it this evening, and We hope you stay tuned in here on ESPN Radio and Vermillion streaming as well. Casey Hansen misses a three-pointer. The Cavaliers coming the opposite way. A quick jumper. This one's left short and rebounded by Leah Herbster. Again, been up and down so far. In fact, no fouls have been called here in the first quarter. And again, the Tanagers and the Cavaliers are tied at 8 apiece. A pass over to Brooke Jensen is going to be knocked out of bounds as it will stay with the Vermillion Tanagers. Now the Tanagers will be bringing 3 on, including Mulherrin, Brooklyn Voss, and Janaea Cleveland checking out. Cleveland, Regnaris, along with Brooke Jensen. Casey Hansen to inbound the basketball, work it to the top of the key with Mulherrin to Voss. Bounce pass back out to Casey Hansen, who had bombs to 3, drives in, lays it off the glass, and gets it for 2. Vermillion takes back their lead, 10-8, 2:29 here in the first quarter. Again, going to have some technical difficulties throughout the night with just the Bonhomme gym, always a difficult spot to broadcast from with internet issues that have always plagued us here when we've come to Bonhomme. But nonetheless, we'll work through it here tonight. And like I said, here on ESPN Radio as well. Top of the key, the Cavaliers have it. They work it back to the top as they work around the perimeter right now with Vavruska. Now trying to get it underneath to Vavruska. She picks up the loose basketball, drives up with her shot, and she is fouled. And as I mentioned earlier, no fouls have been called in the basketball game. That will be the first, and it will be Vavruska heading to the free throw line, where she already has 4 points on the evening. The foul comes on Mulherrin. That will be her first of the night. Hits the free throw, making it 10-9, Vermillion holding on to a 1-score lead. For the Vermillion Tanagers, right now kind of balanced scoring that we have seen so far from the girls. Second free throw is up, and this one is off the mark, so the Vermillion Tanagers hold on to a 1-point lead of 10-9. Janaea Cleveland with Casey Hansen. Back to the top with Cleveland. Back over to Hansen. She'll shoot the 3. She was wide open for a moment. Is off the mark and rebounded. Casey Hansen hasn't quite found her right spot yet tonight. She shot the 3 a couple different times. Is only connected with the jumper inside the lane for her only 2 points. At the top of the key controlled with Aaron for the Cavaliers. Now they work it over to Kozak. Kozak gets underneath the Corton, and Jane Corton tries to go up with her shot, and she is blocked from behind, but a foul called. And 2 quick fouls on the Vermillion Tanagers now. And it's also a shooting foul once again, so free throws upcoming. The foul is called on Casey Hansen, picking up her first personal. Again, the second team foul. This time the free throw is good. And we're tied at 10 apiece once again. So 2 teams that have struggled this season in scoring have really found their mark tonight already. Both, again, hitting double digits in this first quarter. Second free throw is good for the Cavaliers, and they're now back on top, 11-10 here in the first quarter. It's Casey Hansen who gets it across the timeline, works it over to Janaea Cleveland, down to Voss, back out to Mulherrin, to Casey Hansen, to Voss at the elbow, back out to Mulherrin. She'll shoot the catch and shoot 3 and knocks it down. Mulherrin, her first points of the evening, to a 2-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers, 13-11, 60 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. Trying to find a little bit of space. They work it back out to Aaron. Now over to the far side with Rennick. Rennick bounce pass to Corton at the top of the key. Now to the near wing with Kozak. Trying to get it underneath in the lane to Corton, and it's stolen away by the Tanagers. And here comes Janaea Cleveland. Quickly over to Mulherrin. Back to Cleveland. She'll catch and shoot 3. Leaves this one short, trying to battle for the offensive rebound. Leah Herbster can't come up with it. It's controlled by Aaron for the Cavaliers. Quickly the opposite way. The Cavaliers try to make a pass cross court. It's stolen away by Janaea Cleveland on the fast break. Cleveland has it stolen behind. It's saved right to Cleveland. Camila Sakura stole it away, then saved it right to Cleveland as she's able to lay it up and good for 2. 15-11, 10 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Aaron drives in, her shot's blocked away. Voss with 5 seconds, quickly going into the front court. Voss with 2 seconds drives in, has it stripped away from behind. The last second heave is going to be off the mark, and that is the end of the first quarter with the Vermillion Tanagers leading at 15-11 over the Bonhomme Cavaliers. We'll step aside for a minute and be back here on ESPN Radio and Vermillion Streaming.
Machine in Beersford is your full-service quality John Deere dealer. From the latest John Deere combines and tractors to lawn equipment you can count on, Peterson Machine in Beersford will bring you the best value for your dollar, along with professional service and parts to keep you going. Check out the big selection of used equipment as well. Need a hard-working farm hand? Peterson Machine also carries a full line of Polaris ATVs and UTVs ready for the toughest jobs. No matter what the job, Polaris keeps you going. Check the full inventory at petersonmachine.com.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment is your locally owned and operated ready mix company. Their specialty, 6x6 front discharge mixer trucks that allows for better placement of concrete and ease of use. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment offers the highest quality of concrete products and aggregates, and also a full-service dealer for Logon equipment featuring telehandlers, excavators, and ASB track skid loaders for purchase or rent. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment, East Highway 50, Vermillion.
Back here on Vermillion Streaming and ESPN Radio. Again, thank you for tuning in here on ESPN Radio and Vermillion Streaming. Again, we're way ahead of schedule as we begin the second quarter. It's only 6 o'clock. This one was scheduled to tip off at 6:30 this evening, so that just shows how much ahead of schedule we are. One of the big reasons that is usually we see a C game, a JV game, and then the varsity game, whereas there was no C game for this evening. Everything else has been ahead of schedule, and since it is the only one game of the evening, when they run ahead of schedule like this, they will just keep things moving along. In fact, some Vermillion fans even continuing to show up to the gym and looking up and going, oh wow, it's already the second quarter. But nonetheless, we'll, like I said, work through it for this evening, and it's great to have you along, and also with our Vermillion Streaming as well. Chandler Cleveland has it along the far wing, back to the top with her sister, back to Chandler, to Mulheron, trying to get it back to Janaea. It's poked away. Chasing after is Vavruska. She picks up and lays it off the glass, and good for two. The Cavaliers trail by 2, 15-13, 7-17 here in the second quarter. Bounce pass for Brooke Jensen, who so far in the ball game has been quiet this evening. Now back to the top of Janaea. She shoots the three. This one is off the mark. Trying to get the fight for the rebound is Mulheron. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow the way of the Tanagers. So they'll keep control of the basketball along the baseline with Janaea Cleveland. 7:07, second quarter, 15-13. Here comes Cleveland to inbound it, holding above her head, looking for a teammate. They work it over to her sister. Far jumper with her foot on the line is off the mark, but an offensive rebound for Brooklyn Voss. Back out to Chandler Cleveland, work it over to Jensen. Jensen back to Janaea. Chandler to Voss inside the lane. She backs way out, back out to Chandler. Her three-pointer is off the mark. Offensive rebound, Mulheron. She goes up and is hit from behind. So she'll head to the free throw line. 15-13, 6:47 here in the second quarter. Again, if you're just tuning in, ahead of schedule for this evening. Here comes the first free throw up from Mulheron. She off the mark with the first. Already for her in the ball game, 3 points. She hit a three-pointer back in the first quarter. Of course, Mulheron coming off the bench this season averages just under 2 points a ball game, so she's well above her average as she hits that free throw, making it 16-13, and Vermillion hold the highest margin you can at a one-possession game. Aaron drives all the way into the lane, has it stripped out of her hand. They see the ball last went off of her thigh, so it'll be a turnover, and Vermillion will have the basketball. Head coach John Brooks shouting out instructions. Again, it's going to definitely be a busy week for the Vermillion girls, and maybe even something a little interesting yet coming down the pipe as we head later into the week. Jensen, three-pointer, knocks it down. Brooke Jensen, she shoots it so well. Already 9 points for her in the ball game, 19-13. It's a 6-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. In fact, it's their biggest lead of the ball game. We'll get back to what I was just saying a moment ago about how busy this schedule is and how it could yet still get messed up later on this week. And while we have a chance, so Vermillion girls are in action coming up tomorrow as well. Just a girls game back home against the Masson Bulldogs, and then are supposed to play on Friday, but everyone is kind of taking a look down the schedule and more specifically at the weather that could play a factor on Friday, and maybe even an opportunity to reschedule a game if it allows to a Thursday instead, because Lennox and Vermillion both don't play, but as of right now, there is a chance of snow and rain on Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Another three-pointer for Jensen is off the mark. Rebound by Brooklyn Voss. Back out to Brooke Jensen. Now to Voss at the free throw line. She just bounce passes it to Janaea Cleveland. Cleveland using the right-handed dribble. Now trying to get underneath the Mulherron. It's tipped in the air. Mulherron collects and is able to finish it off. Great focus, great concentration by Kenzie Mulherron for her to pull down the tip pass and then finish it off on the glass. 21-13, a pass across court, stolen away by Janaea Cleveland. She drives in, finishes it off. Tanagers on a 7-0 run, lead at double digits, 23-13, 5:08 here in the second quarter. In the backcourt, the press is on. Being able to break it is Vavruska. Vavruska dribbles it over to the near corner. Try to get back to the top. It's tipped in the air for a moment. It gets to Sikora. They work it back to Vavruska, who is being double-teamed by the two Cleveland girls. And a reach and foul, no jump ball is what is called. And it will stay with the Cavaliers. Quick substitution as Jaden Corton will come on. Checking out of the basketball game will be Kozak and also Hansen, Livy Ragnaris, and also Leah Herbster check back in. By the way, good to see Livy Ragnaris back in for tonight's basketball game as she rolled an ankle on Friday in that upset victory over the Proxton Trojans. Now, Livy was able to get back in the ball game, but having her back at 100% is great to see. Top of the key, Jaden Corton hits a big three-pointer. That ends a modest 7-0 run that Vermillion was on, and it's back down to just a 7-point lead, 23-16. 4:30 first half. Cleveland, she'll shoot the three. This one's off the heel of the iron. Battling for the rebound. Corton tries to save it. It will go out of bounds. Coming into this basketball game, the Bonhomme Cavaliers are 2-5 on their season. It definitely has been a difficult part of their season, also trying to make that transition as well. Now, we historically know the Cavaliers as a Class B team, but they've been reclassified this year as a Class A. And as I say that, Jensen hits another three. She's got 12 points in the ball game and back up to a 10-point lead. Again, the Cavaliers 2-5. They still have played a lot of Class B teams as well so far this season. And now, a timeout from head coach Tara Jensen. Say congratulations to Tara Jensen, who had a baby boy this past November as well. 26-16, the Vermillion Tanagers had the weekend off as well. Head coach John Brooks mentioned that in our post-game conversation and also in our pre-game conversation as well that we did not have the chance to air this evening, but he mentioned, no practice going on for this weekend. The girls went over a scouting report when they get on the bus. That's about all they really do. He did mention, hey, this was already scouted at the very beginning of this season for the Vermillion girls. This isn't a new opponent that they don't know who the Cavaliers are. Of course, you go back to that conversation that at the very beginning of the season, December 10th, we get ready for after 3 weeks of practice, the Vermillion Tanagers were going to play against the Cavaliers, and finally happened after this makeup game here in the schedule, but just good to have them back on as well. 26-16, 4:03 first half. The Cavaliers trailing by 10. They work it over to Corton, who averages 11 points a ball game. Now driving in, shot blocked away. Back out, Corton, three-pointer. This one is off the mark, and Casey Hansen comes up with a loose basketball. Quickly up to Jensen. She's been unstoppable. Throws it high off the glass. Can't get the lucky roll, and it's rebounded by Jaden Corton, the 5'7" junior guard. Corton picks up her pass, tries to get it over to Vavruska, stolen away by Chandler Cleveland, and Cleveland easily shoots it off the glass for two. Chandler Cleveland has her first 2 points of the ball game. It's 28-16, 3:23 second quarter. And the backcourt, slight press. Vavruska gets it across the timeline. Now picks up her dribble, gets it to her teammate Sikora. They work it to the near corner now with Corton. Corton to Aaron. And this near side, guard closely by Livy Ragnaris. Ragnaris tried to poke it away. No foul called. Get it across the court now to Vavruska. Underneath the paint, going up strong. Can't finish off the shot, and a late whistle is called as Olivia Bruges tried to finish it right underneath the hoop, and as she was coming down, Casey Hansen in the way and will draw her second foul of the evening, the third team foul on the Vermillion Tanagers, just 2 team fouls on the Cavaliers. Inbound the basketball, Vavruska gets it deep to Corton. Back to Vavruska. Into the perimeter, back to the top with Corton. Catch and shoot three. This is off the heel of the iron. Rebound by Jensen. She has it poked away from behind, but then goes out of bounds as Sakura and Bruce were both in there to try to steal it away, but no success. A couple quick substitutions as Kozak Renek will check back in. Aaron as well as Sakura will come out for the Cavaliers. The score is a 12-point lead for the Vermillion Tangers, 28-16, 2:37, second quarter. It's their biggest lead of the basketball game. Regneris, straightaway three. This one's off the mark, but it's going to be a rebound. No, a fight jump ball called as Jensen flips over her girl. Some reaction and smiles on the Vermillion side. That's just, there's definitely a size advantage, you can certainly tell, to Vermillion compared to Bonhomme. And, of course, Jensen was there to also help back up Vavruska, who she kind of ripped over. Missed shot, offensive rebound. Leah Herbster goes right back up with it and finishes it off nicely. 30-16, 2:18, second quarter. Again, great to have you along here on Vermillion Streaming and ESPN Radio. If you're just tuning in, we are well ahead of schedule this evening. In fact, we might even be finished by 6:30 when this game was supposed to tip off. It all comes down to no C game this evening, a JV game that got over much quicker than anticipated. And, you know, on a makeup game like on Monday night, just keep things rolling right along, as they say. Leah Herbster, jumper along the baseline. This one's off the mark. Rebounded by Bruce. Quickly she goes in the front court, but Casey Hansen from behind is going to poke it away. And in this kind of smaller gym as well, the doors are open, 3 different doors. The basketball went out of one of the doors, but someone was there to kick it right back in to the court. Certainly a tight facility here in Bonhomme, and if you get it crowded on both sides, a loud gymnasium. But again, tonight, with just a single game, it's on the quieter side for this evening, especially on a Monday. Not a bad Monday as well. Temperatures pick back up, well above what we saw last week with freezing conditions. Supposed to get even closer to 50 for the rest of this week before, as I mentioned, snow and rain on Friday. That's your weather forecast. Vavruska has it, top of the key, to the elbow, bounce pass now to Corton. Corton tries to finish off her shot. Livy Regneris reaches in. Looked like she got the ball there to block it away. But they call a foul, and it will be 2 free throws upcoming for Corton. Livy Regneris picks up her first foul of the basketball game, just the 4th team foul for the Vermillion Tangers. And the first free throw is off the mark for Corton, who's got 7 points in the basketball game. Also, Vavruska, 7 points in the basketball game. Checking back in, Aaron and Sakura for the Cavaliers. Taking a spot on the bench will be Kozak and Renek. About 2 deep that Coach Jensen will go into her bench. Of course, the Vermillion Tangers will go 3, maybe even get even deeper than that yet coming up this season with more players coming back from injury. Jensen airballs a 3, but Cleveland underneath to save it, but then she has it ripped away from her by Bruce. Get it quickly up to Aaron in the front court. Top of the key, now swings it over to the near wing with Corton. She tries to split past a double team. A shot is blocked away by Tanager, and Voss picks up the loose basketball. A reach-in foul called on the Cavaliers, picking up now their 4th team foul. 1:01 remaining in this first half. It's a 14-point lead for the Tangers, 30-16. Janaea Cleveland looks back behind to get some instructions from head coach John Brooks to Leah Herbster. Now underneath to a wide-open Casey Hansen, and Hansen is able to finish it off nicely. 32-16. 45 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. A pass up to Sakura. Sakura works it over to Corton. Corton catch and shoot 3. This one is off the mark. Offensive rebound. Aaron tries to go back up, but the big arms of Leah Herbster, it's hard to get it past her as she blocks one away. The Tangers average 6 blocks a game. That's a pretty good mark to be at. Hansen is going to hold it for the last second shot. 15 seconds and rolling. Still Casey Hansen. Guarded closely by Sakura, who's got a smile on her face slightly. She's being exhausted by Hansen. Inside the lane, back out, catch and shoot 3. Jensen, this one is off the mark. Bruce with the rebound. Get it quickly up to Corton. The half-court heave is off the mark, and that is the end of the first half. where the Vermillion Tanagers are on top at halftime. They've doubled up the Bon Homme Cavaliers at halftime. It's 32-16. We'll step aside for 2 minutes here on ESPN 1015 AM 1570 KVTK.com along with Vermillion streaming on ESPN.
Customize your washer for any load and wash the way you want. Industry first innovation and design lets you remove the agitator to wash a bulky load that needs more space and easily swap it back in whenever you want. It's twice the wash action options and twice the washer you have at home.
Find this and other Whirlpool and Maytag appliances at Merce Appliance in Vermillion.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done in customer testimony.
We are open when you need us, 24 hours a day with what you need.
Electric service with shops in Pierre and Vermillion. We offer a full spectrum of electrical services covering Central, North Central, and Southeast South Dakota. We are licensed, insured, and ready to work on your agricultural, commercial, or residential project. Need a quote? Give us a call. Todd's Electric Service, the line to power.
You don't need an illness to need a doctor. You don't need to feel sick to feel better. You don't need to be unwell to get well. What you do need is a primary care physician or provider at Sanford Health. Better health care starts with regular wellness visits and a familiar face who knows you, your concerns, and your goals. We're here before you need us. We're here when you need us. We're here after you need us. We're here for you. Sanford Health. Health lives here.
898-9579 and put your roof in the expert's hands. Dave.
Back here on Vermillion streaming and ESPN 1015 AM 1570 KVTK.com. It certainly has been a little bit of a weird night for us here at the Bon Homme Gym as we come back, as I mentioned, about close to 6:20. This game now was scheduled to tip off at 6:30. Everything went ahead of schedule, about 45 minutes ahead of schedule. So, in fact, by the time that we got here, there was already the 15-minute timer for warm-up. So, by the time we got on air, things had just been ahead of schedule. As we mentioned as well, with our streaming service, we are running a little bit lower of a video quality as well. I know at one point the game blacked out due to a misconnection, dropped at one point as well. And if that does happen, just refresh. We will get it back up. Like I said, sometimes you work through those difficulties, and that's just how blessed I always have to remember that we are when it comes to the Vermillion High School with so many different connections. They're so used to us there. They give us everything that we need that sometimes when we come to these other facilities, hey, we're in small town South Dakota, and that's just what we have to roll with. Well, as we take a look back at the first half, the Vermillion Tanagers, it was a back-and-forth affair there in the first quarter as both teams were trading buckets. In fact, for the longest time, right there at 6-6, 8-8, 10-10, before Vermillion was able to hit a couple of shots late in that first quarter, take a slight lead going into the second half. And Brooke Jensen has been a big reason why the Vermillion Tanagers find themselves on top right now here at halftime with a score of 32-16. She already has 12 points in the basketball game, including some big three-pointers, and that has really been the success of the Vermillion girls as well. They have found themselves open from beyond the three-point line, and they have found a little bit more confidence in shooting that shot where necessarily they don't always have that opportunity. And again, you go back to why this is one of the first games of the season. As we mentioned, Bon Homme usually historically a Class B team. So this is a kind of that preseason game for both the Vermillion boys and Vermillion girls to really get their feet wet, just kind of get used to a season once again. Whereas, again, it didn't happen on December 10th because of a snowstorm. just a makeup game. See when you can get it in. The Vermillion boys were here on December 30th in their makeup game, and for the Vermillion girls, this just happens to be a good opportunity when they could get it in. And then also working at for the Vermillion girls, how do you bounce back from a game like Friday night where they had to go through the ringer, had to play their best game of the season, as they were able to get Parkston in an upset, 43-37. As we mentioned, John Brooks did not have the girls come in to practice at all this weekend, went through a scouting breakdown, and for the Vermillion girls, this kind of busy stretch continues as they also have a game that is coming up tomorrow night, and right now is scheduled for Friday night, and a doubleheader with Lennox as well. But again, right now in the Vermillion Booster halftime show, the Vermillion girls are on top with the score of 32-16. We'll step aside for 2 minutes, and when we come back, the second half is right around the corner. That's on the way on ESPN Radio and along with Vermillion Streaming.
Inning Vermillion is ready with all your Tanager gear. Check
Perfect night of sleep can be found with Slumberland's Sleep Solutions Center. Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy all featured. Don't lose another night of sleep. Stop by Slumberland of Yankton. Looking to update the family room? Look no further than Yankton Slumberland, Lazy Boy, Flex Steel Furniture, and more. All at your hometown furniture store. That's Slumberland of Yankton.
Okay, Tanagers fans, it's that time again. Time to bank some noise for this game break with First Dakota National Bank. Give me a B for this much-needed bathroom break. Squeal with delight because your 8-hour pork ribs are ready. Throw your hands in the air because you've been sitting a while and need to stretch. Bank some noise with us at First Dakota. Open a new account online today at firstdakota.com, member FDIC.
Pup and Pack told me to keep this video simple, so I don't need to tell you about the great selections on drinks. You probably already know he has a South Dakota DMV Now kiosk to renew your license plates. Snacks, too many of those to even mention. Oh, and when you fill up that Pump and Pack, Kevin gives a portion of the money back to a charity. I guess I really don't know what to talk about. Simple enough. Pump and Pack in Vermillion.
Let's be real. You have a business to run, people to pay, money to make, and a life to balance. Good thing you also have First Bank and Trust. Cash flow, all while tapping into some of the best fraud prevention tools available. When managing a business is easier for you, so is managing a family. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Back here on Vermillion Streaming and ESPN 115 AM 1570, KVTK.com. So the Vermillion girls find themselves at 5-2 this season, and the Von Homme Cavaliers at 2-5. But go back to it being a Monday. The official Class AA, A, and B rankings are out for the top 5, and also teams that are receiving votes. And even with the Vermillion girls getting that upset in 5-2 on the season, not receiving votes, not being inside the top 5, one of the big reasons, a tough loss when it comes to last Tuesday against the T-Area Titans, and the Titans are also receiving votes to be inside the top 5. And schedule certainly does not get easier for the Vermillion girls as, again, you go through this week and even looking ahead. And with the new standings out, you talk about the polls, and Dakota Valley is one of those top teams as well. 3 currently, so a lot of great teams yet upcoming for the Vermillion Tanagers. Upsets certainly could be out there, but Vermillion girls just taking it one game at a time and trying to get through this week's schedule and even going into next week as well. Again, we mentioned we are ahead of schedule when taking a look at scores from around the state of South Dakota. Not a whole lot of other action that is going on, or no action that has got underway yet this evening. In fact, one other big game coming up tonight is the T-Area Lady Titans as they take on the Canton Seahawks at Thunder Alley. That game doesn't tip off until 6:30. And also Del Rapids and Lennox are in action for a girls-only game tonight, but that doesn't tip off until 7:45 this evening. So no score updates from around the state of South Dakota. And again, that is the Vermillion Booster halftime show here on ESPN 115 AM 1570. Stick around as well. Coming up for tomorrow night's broadcast, at halftime, I do expect to have a guest joining us as well. Longtime coach and also a big supporter of the Vermillion Boosters, can talk more about how Vermillion Boosters have supported his athletics throughout the years at Vermillion High School. Who that guest is going to be, well, we'll wait till tomorrow to get a confirmation, as I have not heard exactly from him, but he has never once turned me down for an interview. An opening bucket for Vavruska for the Cavaliers, and then a quick carry by the Tanagers and Casey Hansen gives it right back to the Cavaliers, 32-18, 7:43 here in the third quarter. So Cavaliers get off to the right start with Vavruska with the basketball on the second possession. Bounce pass over to Aaron. She'll catch and shoot three. This one's off the mark, but an offensive rebound by Corton. She goes back up. No, Vavruska, no, it was Corton, and she's fouled. And she will head to the free throw line. The foul comes against Casey Hansen, now picking up her third of the evening. Hansen only with 4 points in the basketball game. Starting five as well back out there for the Tanagers. The same starting five that we have seen all season long, including Casey Hansen, Livy Regnerus, Leah Herbster, Chandler Cleveland, and Brooke Jensen. Livy Regnerus is the only starter yet to score this evening. Second free throw, Corton knocks them both down. So the Cavaliers begin on a modest 4-0 run to open up here in this third quarter. Score 32-20, so still a 12-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. Pass down the low block with Leah Herbster. She throws off the glass. She is fouled, and she will head to the free throw line. Leah Herbster having herself a good game underneath as well. Of course, her size always plays a big advantage. 4 points for her so far this evening. The second foul as well that will come against Vavruska. First free throw is up, and this one is off the mark for Leah Herbster. So she'll toe the line once again. 32-20, 7:21. Third quarter, second free throw. This one is off the mark as well for Leah Herbster as she misses them both. In the backcourt, Vavruska gets it across the timeline, works it over Corton, now to Aaron, to the near corner. They work it with Sikora. Down to Brew in the lane, puts up jumper, partially deflected, loose basketball. Casey Hansen has it right now, and finally a tie-up as two Cavaliers diving on the ground. Possession arrow this time favors the Cavaliers. So with the tie-up, nope, oops, we made a mistake. Made a mistake on the scorer's table, switched it too soon. So it will be Vermillion basketball instead. So Vermillion with the ball after the tie-up. It's a retained possession after Casey Hansen came down with it, but again, she was tied up with it. Hansen works over to Livy Regnerus, back to Casey Hansen, 32-20. 1 minute gone here in the third quarter. Leah Herbster back out to Hansen, now over to Regnerus. Get it down to Leah Herbster at the low block underneath the hoop. She tries to go up with it, and jump ball going to be called. This time, possession arrow favors the Cavaliers. Coming up tomorrow evening as well, the Vermillion girls are set to tip off at a later time at 7:15 against Madison. So get ready for the pregame show coming up around this time tomorrow evening. Again, that's a girls-only game. Brew goes up with her shot off the mark. The reason it's a girls-only game as well is Madison doesn't necessarily like to travel with both teams when it comes to doubleheaders, when it comes to an extended trip, which, of course, Madison a little over a 2-hour drive that we'll have to make as well twice coming up this season inside the DAC-12 NEC Clash. One weekend with the girls, the next weekend with the boys. Actually flip that. It's boys then girls. 32-20, 6:31, third quarter. That, in fact, comes up here at the end of the month and then the first weekend of February as well. Games, of course, we do not know that. It all comes to how well you're doing in standing-wise for the DAC-12 and NEC Clash. Three-pointer is off the mark for Vavruska. We won't, in fact, know that until the week of. Leah Herbster over to Jensen. Shoot three, knocks it down. Brooke Jensen continues her hot streak. 14 points with her foot on the line. They say it's not a three-pointer, but that finally ends the 4-0 run the Cavaliers found themselves on to open up this third quarter. Brooke carries it in. Now to Vavruska at the elbow. Back out to that far corner. Corton, couple of steps inside the perimeter. Jumper is off the mark, and then a rebounding foul is called, even though Cleveland came away with it. The foul goes against Olivia Bruce. Bruce picking up her second personal. Two different girls, Vavruska and Corton with 9 points the ball game. In fact, they both average 11 so far this season. Jensen wide open, but she fumbled the pass, was able to collect back up, and then a foul called as she put up her jumper, missed everything, but she'll head to the free throw line. The foul comes against Vavruska, picking up now her third personal. 34-20, 5:41 third quarter. Jensen trying to add to her tally. Season high 17 points. She is well on the mark to break that tonight. Hits the first free throw, now giving her 15 in the ball game. 35-20. Vermillion, of course, their biggest lead of the basketball game came at halftime when they led it by 16, 32-16. A ball tipped around twice and somehow finds the hands of Kozak for the Cavaliers. She was the deepest player well outside the arc, and somehow it got tipped all the way back to her. Now underneath, shot off the glass, and good for Olivia Bruce. And then a quick timeout called by head coach Tara Jensen. We'll keep her right here, 35-23. As we mentioned for the Cavaliers, they are 2-5 on their season. They have certainly played a weird schedule, and what I mean by that is just working through Class A teams and also Class AA teams as they find themselves in Region 5 this year, part of that reclassification that we've seen a lot of teams move from Class B up to Class A. They opened up their season with a loss against Irene Wakanda. In fact, didn't find their first win until right before Christmas break, where they beat Trip Delmar Armor 51-38 before they came back from Christmas break, and before the new year lost to Winter and Gayville Vollen, and then came back on Tuesday, got the win over Parker 58-56, who is a Region 4 opponent that Vermillion will see later on this season. And then on Friday, lost to ranked Wagner 59-24. So again, just like the Tanagers, the Cavaliers are coming off of a game on Friday evening. So neither team has really had an extended rest for tonight's game besides the weekend. But when it comes to high school kids, luckily they can bounce back pretty well. Casey Hansen's three-pointer from the corner is off the mark. Rebound by the Cavaliers as they quickly move into the front court now with Kozak. Inside the lane, his shot is going to be blocked, but a foul call. This will go against Leah Herbster. It's be the now third team foul for the Vermillion Tanagers. Leah Herbster also picking up just her first foul of the evening. It is a shooting foul. So towing the line will be Tacey Rennick. First free throw is off to the side. 5'7", an 8th grade guard. In fact, this is a very young Cavaliers team. Get ready to hear all the same names throughout the next couple of years. Second free throw, this one's off the mark. Only one senior on this squad, a lot like the Vermillion Tanagers, and that is Camille Sakura, is the senior for the Cavaliers this year. Casey Hansen has it, the free throw line extended. Far side, switch play over to Jensen with 15 points a ball game. Now to Olivia Regnaris, the only starter not to score. To Cleveland inside the lane, back out to Regnaris. Bounce pass down to Leah Herbster, and a reach-in called against the Cavaliers. Be a fresh shot clock as well, as that was winding down under 10. The foul called on Kozak. Kozak picking up her first. And now the fourth team foul on the Cavaliers. And now we're going to allow a substitution. Late Aaron comes in, and heading to the bench will be Sakura for Bonhomme. 35-22. It's a 13-point lead for the Tanagers. Spin the lane, jumper for Casey Hansen. This one is off the mark. Talk about a lot of familiar names for the next couple of years for the Cavaliers. Of course, that's the same situation as well from Vermillion, with Mulheron the only senior on this team. Bruce, her shot off the glass, gets it to go. She now has 6 points in the ball game, 4 in this quarter. 35-24. Cavaliers have outscored the Tanagers by 5 in this quarter, and now a foul away from the basketball will be against Chandler Cleveland, picking up now her first personal. And now a couple substitutions. Livy Regnaris, Cleveland, and Leah Herbster will all come out of the basketball game. Brooklyn Voss, Janae Cleveland, along with Kenzie Mulheron, all check in. So trying to get it under double digits here are the Cavaliers. Aaron has her picket pocket. She kicks it forward to Casey Hansen. Hansen quickly up to Janaea Cleveland. Back to Hansen in the front court for the Tangers. Top of the key with Voss. Switch play over to Cleveland in that corner. Along the baseline to Mulherron. Underneath the hoop, back out to Janaea Cleveland. To Voss, just outside the lane, inside the perimeter. Now she'll dribble it inside the lane. Bounce pass to Mulherron. To Jensen. Jensen off the glass and give her 17, which matches a season high this season. 3:20 third quarter. Vermillion back up to a 13-point lead, 37-24. Voss almost steals away from Bruce, but Cavaliers able to break. Shot off the glass left short this time for Rennick, but then on the offensive rebound, got back her own shot. She was fouled, and she will head to the free throw line. The foul comes against Janaea Cleveland, picking up her first personal. And here comes Chandler. She'll be coming back into the basketball game here in just a moment. 37-24. First free throw is off the mark. Casey Hansen will be coming out of the basketball game. Casey has already picked up 3 personal for this evening. She's been held in check tonight. Just 6 points. One of the few Tangers that averages double digits this season. Casey Hansen just over 11 points a ball game. Second free throw is good for Rennick, giving her first point of the evening. And back to just a 12-point lead for the Tangers. Cleveland catch and shoot 3. Leaves it short off the front of the iron and rebounded by Kozak. Quickly the opposite way come the Cavaliers. Kozak shoots the 3, misses everything. Aaron, tried to save it from going out of bounds. They say she did save it, or it last went off of Mulherron. She crashed hard into the padding on that back wall there. She got up very quickly, though, saying she was fine. 37-25, and now Cavalier needs to inbound the basketball. It will be Aaron going back to where she just crashed in at. Chuck it deep high in the air to Kozak. Kozak into lane. Jumper is off the mark. Trying to save it are the Cavaliers. Gets saved to Chandler Cleveland. Now to Janaea, who picks up her dribble. She's in trouble. Finds her sister along the far sideline. Cleveland will get it across the 10-second line. Back to Janaea. Should probably give them first names when they're both on the court. Janaea has it for the Tangers. Dribbles it to the elbow. Bounce pass to Jensen. She shoots the 3. This one is off the mark. Goes off the glass and right into the hands of Rennick, who will hand it off to her teammate in the guard, Kozak. Up in the front court now with Sikora. Sikora picks up her dribble. Over to Aaron, who couldn't save it from going out of bounds. But they say last touch off of Janaea Cleveland, so it will stay Cavalier basketball. 37-25, 2:13 third quarter. Vermillion Tangers have been outscored in this third quarter, but still hold that double-digit lead. They have not surrendered that yet. Controlled with Kozak. Picks up her dribble once again. Gets it over to Aaron. Trying to get it back over, this time to Kozak, and it goes right to head coach Tara Jensen, and will go out of bounds. 37-25, 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. It's with Voss at the elbow. Back to Janaea. Now work it over to her sister, Chandler. To Jensen. To Voss. And Voss, she's trying to get some free or reach-in foul called. This will go against Olivia Bruce. Bruce picking up now her third personal. Olivia, the 5'10", sophomore forward. In fact, the biggest girl they have on the team when it comes to her size. Now she'll have to come out. And checking back in the basketball game will be Jaden Corton. Janaea Cleveland trying to inbound it, get it to Brooke Jensen. Jensen high off the glass. She can't get her shot to fall. 27-35, 100 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Driving in, Aaron, and she is tripped up. Mulherron will draw the foul. And if you're just tuning in, you're at 6:40 on the evening thinking, all right, 37-25. How do we get up to such a quick score already? Well, this game got started just before 6 o'clock. So it has been a quick-moving night here in Bonhomme. In fact, we got here about the rolling clock of 15 minutes. Three-pointer, this one is going to be off the mark. Brooke with the defensive rebound, tries to make a pass, but intercepting this high in the air is Sikora. Now she picks up her dribble in the backcourt. Have to get it across the timeline. A reach-in foul called, though. And it give a free opportunity and also bonus now for the Cavaliers. The foul comes against Brooklyn Voss. Again, bonus upcoming. Vermillion committed 11 fouls the other night against the Parkston Trojans just in the third quarter. Gave up double bonus. Head coach John Brooks said, basically we told the girls, don't commit any more fouls. Stop playing so physical. And in the end, it ended up working out. And now Jensen has a jump ball called at her. She can't believe it, but possession arrow favors the way of the Tangers, so no harm, no foul after the 1-1 is missed. 37-25, 1:17, third quarter. Now a timeout is going to be called from head coach John Brooks with a 12-point lead. He wants a full timeout. We'll step aside and take the 1-minute timeout with them. You're listening to Tanger Basketball on Vermillion Streaming and ESPN Radio.
Hi. Hey, I think I'll take the day off.
Is your old furnace talking back to you?
You're flying solo today, pal. I need a little me time.
The Kalen's Indoor Comfort Pros can repair your grumpy old furnace or replace it with a new high-efficiency Lennox system.
Yeah, sorry. I just can't seem to move any air today.
We'll see about that. Get a dependable Lennox system from Kalen's and start saving today.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest. So you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Well, exclusively on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570. If you're watching on Vermillion Streaming, if you're into college football, the national championship game is coming up tonight, so you can listen to that game on ESPN Radio. Of course, they get things kicked off here at 7 o'clock, and we'll have all the coverage right after the conclusion of this game this evening. So hopefully you can keep it tuned in if you're looking for that college football game. Again, that's coming up right after the conclusion of this one, which will be getting close to kickoff for Alabama and Georgia. Who do you have in that one? Great rematch from earlier this season in the SEC championship game where Alabama was able to get the win, but Georgia able to get the first round, or I should say the semifinal win over Michigan, and Alabama gets the victory over Cincinnati to meet in this championship game. Timeout called by Tara Jensen. 37-25, as we mentioned. Coming up tomorrow evening, Vermillion girls are back in action as they take on the Madison Bulldogs. Madison Bulldogs have had a down season as well. And taking a look at what we are expecting tomorrow, as I mentioned, the Vermillion Tangers will probably move to 6-2, barring any huge comeback tonight. Otherwise, Madison right now finds themselves at 2-6. Now, the Madison girls have had a couple of days off, and they'll have some time to also prepare for the Vermillion Tangers. Their last game was against Pine Ridge at the Corn Palace on Saturday, where they got that win 45-41. Otherwise, their only other win came at the very beginning of the season, where they had beat Del Rapids 50-40. But some common opponents that Vermillion has seen, or at least one of them, is the Madison Bulldogs lost earlier this season to Tri-Valley, 47-16. So by 31 points, you may remember that Vermillion got a sizable victory right before the Christmas break against the Mustangs. But take all those scores with a grain of salt. Never truly can always tell. You expect to see one thing, and then you see the complete opposite. You talk about the game on Friday night, you would think that Parkston, who was undefeated, 8-0 on this season, would have rolled past by the Vermillion Tangers, but the Tangers got that upset on Friday evening. And with that, Parkston is not receiving votes anymore, even to be inside the top 5. So one loss can really, according to the media, mess up your rankings. A missed shot for the Vermillion Tangers and Kenzie Mulherron. Here comes the Cavaliers the opposite way. Over to Corton in the corner. She shoots the three. This one is off the mark. Offensive rebound. Back up and finishing off is Renek. She now has 3 points in the ball game. 37-27 with 3 seconds. Jensen just puts up a shot, I believe. She wanted a foul as well. Gets nothing, and that's the end of the third quarter. Vermillion is outscored by 6 in the third quarter, but they still hold that double-digit lead. The fourth quarter is coming up in a minute here on ESPN Radio and Vermillion Streaming.
Todd's Electric, your full-service electrical contracting company. Todd's Electric services residential, commercial, agricultural, and industrial customers. From the simple service call to the most complex design building project, Todd's Electric has the expertise to do it right. Todd's Electric, helping you control all things electric, except for lightning. Todd's Electric. Go Tanagers.
Runnings Vermillion is here for you to lean on like a trusted friend. We work hard each day to stock our shelves with brands and products that are built for value and purpose. Runnings sells a wide selection of trusted brands of sporting goods, men and women's clothing featuring Carhartt and Wrangler. There's footwear, pet supplies, housewares, tools, farm supplies, lawn and garden supplies, toys, and outdoor equipment. Additionally, this store is an authorized dealer of Honda Power Equipment. Runnings, your home, farm, and outdoor store, Vermillion.
The season is still young, not quite to the halfway mark, but the Vermillion girls on their way right now to finishing this one with another victory, moving to 6-2 on their season. We'll tell you what that means more here in just a moment. If they can find some more wins even throughout this week, that would really put them in a good spot. Three-pointer knocked through for Camille Sakura. And it's back under to double digits, 37-30. Now, Vermillion was in this spot before they put up 19 points in the fourth quarter against the Parkson Trojans on Friday, and were able to get that upset victory. We'll see if they can't find some offense, as they still need to try to hold on for the victory here. Three-pointer is off the mark for Chandler Cleveland. Ball is loose and picked up by the Cavaliers. We'll see if maybe they can't draw this one even closer. High shot off the glass. Trying to get the rebound is Leah Herbster and Brooke Jensen, and a jump ball called. It'll be Vermillion basketball. But as I mentioned, Vermillion finds themselves right now 5-2 on the season, and inside the region, they are right now sitting in second place. Now, again, still early to the season. But again, they do have a sizable advantage over third place, which is good to see. But you have to think about the Titans that are going to be coming up yet later on, whose their schedule doesn't get any easier, but they will get bigger seed points for bigger wins that they receive, including one over Vermillion. That will certainly play in the favor of the Lady Titans, as Vermillion does extremely well yet this season. First free throw is off the mark for Brooke Jensen. 37-30, but as I mentioned, Vermillion in second inside the region. Dakota Valley is in first place right now. They're number 5 as well in Class A. They're going to be a tough team to beat inside the region, and just a tough team to beat in general. You have just a balanced team that comes from the Panthers. Second free throw is good for Jensen, so is now a season-high 18 points for her tonight. Aaron, they work it over to Corton. Back to Aaron, back to Corton, catch and shoot three for her, knocks it through. And this is now just a 5-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers, 38-33. Jensen, quick three-pointer the opposite way. This one is off the mark and rebounded by Aaron for the Cavaliers, who have all the momentum right now working in their favor. Sakura picks up her dribble, bounce pass over to Vavruska. Vavruska drives, makes the pass to Bruce. It's on the paint, picks it up, throws up her shot off balance. Rebound by Leah Herbster. Now to Casey Hansen. Hansen through the circle to Cleveland. Back over to Livy Regner's, 6:04 fourth quarter. Trying to get passed down to Leah Herbster, too tall for her, and will go out of bounds. So Vermillion commits another turnover, and again, momentum right now favoring the way of the Cavaliers, trying to make a late run at this one. 38-33, 6 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Again at halftime, Vermillion led it 32-16. Vermillion has only scored 6 points, including just scoring 4 in that third quarter. Driving in, Vavruska, shot off the glass, and she's fouled. Count the bucket, and the Cavaliers draw it to within 3. Head coach John Brooks can't believe the call. The foul against Leah Herbster, picking up her third personal. And now Vavruska with 11 points in the ball game, trying to make it 12 to match her season high. Able to hit there, giving her 12 points now. 38-36. to go in this fourth quarter. So Vermillion, after having a comfortable lead at halftime, has really squandered one away and now is trying to hold on. A reach and foul called on Vavruska. That's now her fourth personal. She's going to have to come out of the basketball game. It's also a 1-1 upcoming. So that is the 17th foul against the Cavaliers. 38-36. Casey trying to hit them both. Extend it back to a two-possession game. First free throw on the 1-and-1 is off the mark. Ball being tipped in the air. Offensive rebound, Leah Herbster. She goes right back up with it, and she's fouled. Nice job by Leah Herbster. Not only to understand the circumstance, but just go up strong and still see if she can't hit a couple free throws here. Getting 2 free throws this time, as it was a shooting foul. The foul, by the way, comes against Aaron. That's her first personal. First free throw is off the mark. 38-36, still a 2-point lead for the Vermillion Tangers. 5:37 here in the fourth quarter. Herbster will get a second opportunity, trying to extend it to that 3-point lead. Free throw is up, and she leaves this one short as well. Vermillion struggling now from the free throw line. Olivia Bruce has in the front court. They work inside the perimeter to Rennick. That one's Kozak. They work it back out now. Corton drives in, puts up her off-balance shot, and she is going to travel. She officially even looked over to the student section of the Cavaliers just to make that call. 38-36, 5:20, fourth quarter. Vermillion a 2-point lead. Casey Hansen across the timeline. A little bit more closer than what the girls wanted at this point. Hansen has it, drives it in. Trying to finish off with her right hand. She can't do so, but she is fouled and will head to the free throw line. She just missed on a 1-and-1 opportunity. Trying to finish it off this time. Again, 2 free throws, though, because it was a shooting foul. It was also the 4th foul on Olivia Bruce, the 19th foul on the Vermillion Tangers. And the first free throw is knocked down for Casey Hansen. 39-36, 5:09, fourth quarter. 3-point lead for the Vermillion Tangers. Again, just 7 points is all they have scored in this second half. Second free throw upcoming for Hansen. Knocks them down both. 2 big free throws for the Vermillion Tangers. Casey Hansen now 6 points in the ball game. 40-36 in the backcourt. Trying to squeeze it some space is Kozak. Bounce pass over to Aaron. She's battling close with Cleveland. Now back to Kozak with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Sakura, the right-handed dribble. They work it back out, top the key with Kozak. Kozak swings around to Aaron. Now over to Sakura. Sakura back to the top with Rennick. Now to Corton. Corton sees 3 different girls back out. Three-pointer is off the mark with 3 seconds on the shot clock. And then a rebounding foul against the Cavaliers. And right now the Cavaliers are trying to do this, make this comeback, I should say, without one of their key players on the court with Vavruska. And right now Vermillion is completely taking away Corton, making the backups try to finish this one off. And right now they are having no luck at this moment. That is also the 10th team foul on the Cavaliers, who will see 2 free throws upcoming for Casey Hansen. Hansen, first one, knocks it through. She's now made 3 in a row. Vermillion on a modest 3-0-1, leading it by 5, 41-36. 4:34, fourth quarter. Second free throw for Hansen. This one's off the mark. Trying to fight for the offensive rebound. Tipped around, and it falls to the Cavaliers. Again, a 5-point lead for the Vermillion Tangers. Aaron pumps the brakes. Now hands it to her teammate with Rennick. To Kozak. Along the free throw line, extended near side. Kozak drives to the baseline. Space is cut off. Has to work it back to the top with Corton. Now to Aaron. Corton lays down the screen. Gets the pass back. Goes up strong underneath. And Hansen is going to foul underneath. It's the 19th foul, but a shooting foul. And upcoming, too, for Jaden Corton. Try to draw it back to just a single possession game. Hansen, by the way, picks up now her 4th personal with 7 points on the evening. Free throw is up, and this one is knocked down from Corton, giving her 13 points in the ball game. Hansen and Regnerus come out. Janaea Cleveland and Brooklyn Voss are onto the court for the Tangers. 41-37, 4:12 fourth quarter, and this one's good as well. So expect an exciting finish to this one, 41-38, 4:08 fourth quarter. 3-point lead for the Tangers. Cleveland has it down to Leah Herbster. Herbster finishes off strong with some contact from behind. 43-38, 3:53 fourth quarter. Kozak, the left-handed dribble, switches it to her right, back to her left, working along the far side, or excuse me, the near side. Back to the circle with Aaron. Corton tries to lay down a screen. Aaron doesn't use it properly. Tries to use her dribble and is going to lose it out of bounds. Try to do it all by herself, and in the end does not work out. So Olivia Bruce and Vavruska are going to check back into the game. Both straddling a fine line in foul trouble with 4. So they're going to try to stay in the game and get the Stars back out there and finish this one off for the Cavaliers in that comeback. But again, both have 4 fouls in the ball game. Cleveland with Janaea inside the lane to Leah Herbster. Back to Chandler. She makes a pass to Voss. Voss loses it. It's a turnover for Vermillion. 5-point lead, 43-38 to Aaron. She drives along baseline. Her space is cut off. Tries to make a pass, but deflects off the hands of Chandler Cleveland and somehow goes along the baseline to Corton. Corton drives in. Her shot's blocked, but Aaron there to recover. She can't finish it off, and then a rebounding foul against Corton, and it'll give Vermillion the basketball. No, I'm sorry, the foul will be against Aaron instead. Again, we're past double bonus, so 2 free throws upcoming. Who is shooting the free throws? They say it will be Brooke Jensen who will toe the line. Who already has 18 points in the ball game. 43-38, 3:01 fourth quarter. Trying to finish this one off from the free throw line where Vermillion has struggled all season long. Jensen makes the first one. Now 19 points for her in the ball game. She is the only Tanger to reach double digits so far this evening, and they've needed all 19 of hers. 44-38, 3:01. Second free throw knocked down as well. And now head coach John Brooks will want a timeout. He'll step aside and take the 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Again, great to have you along here on ESPN 101.5 AM 1570, along with Vermillion streaming. Game ahead of schedule, or I guess I was told we got here now. More information to come along. They had rescheduled the game and moved it up earlier today. No one passed along the note to me, but hey, you know what? In the end, all that matters is that we got on air and we got the broadcast on air. Now, do we have some difficulties in the first quarter? We had a hiccup. Everybody has a hiccup every once in a while, but nonetheless, got it taken care of. And it's great to have you along here for this evening, and hopefully you can tune in each and every day this weekend. Again, more Vermillion girls basketball coming up tomorrow night as they'll take on the Masson Bulldogs back at home. In fact, actually, if you're in Vermillion, we'd rather have you at the Birdcage to cheer on the Tanger girls. But if you, of course, aren't in the area, then keep it right tuned to Vermillion streaming and ESPN radio. 45-38. Vermillion has extended this lead back to 7. Now just trying to hold on. Janaea Cleveland reaches in against Kozak, knocks it away from her, and will get the transition bucket. Back to a 9-point lead. The press is on by the Vermillion Tangers. Heads up play by Janaea Cleveland. Off the bench, she has 6 points. Now pass over Sakura, knocked out of bounds by Voss. It seems as though the Vermillion girls almost went into cruise control in that third quarter, and to open up this fourth quarter, it got to 3, and they said, all right, we need to play some basketball again. And they've now extended it back to 9, 47-38, 2:35 fourth quarter. They went from holding on to now extending back their lead. Three-pointer is off the mark. Brusdo with the offensive rebound. Her shot is blocked away by Brooklyn Voss. Again, that's now, I believe, the 5th block of the night for the Vermillion Tangers. They average 6 a ball game. Janaea Cleveland gets it to Voss. Voss back out to Casey Hansen on 4 fouls of her own. Hansen drives along baseline. Floater is off the mark. Gets back her own missed shot. Back out to Janaea Cleveland. 3-pointer for her. This one left short off the front of the iron. Rebounded by Kozak. 47-38, 2 minutes and expiring here in this fourth quarter. A pass over to Corton along the far sideline. Back to top with Kozak. Kozak holds it belt high. Shoots it now over to Vavruska. Now to Bruce. Jumper inside the perimeter. Off the mark. Rebounded by Brooke Jensen. for the Vermillion Tanagers. To Casey Hansen, quickly up to Janaea Cleveland, who's bumped from behind, and a good call there by the official, who was right on top of that to see that Camille Sikora was behind. Makes just the slightest of contact, but a foul going to be called every single time, and 2 free throws upcoming. Wait, Livy Regneris has to wait to come in. Now we have a timeout from head coach Tara Jensen. 2 free throws upcoming here in just a moment. It will be a full timeout, so we'll step aside and take the minute break with them. You're listening to Vermillion Basketball here on ESPN Radio and Vermillion Streaming. We're back in a minute.
Thinking hard isn't for the weak-hearted. You're the first one to punch in and the last one to clock out. Every project, every day. Your hobbies are no different. Miles of scouting, hours of planning. 1 split second with everything on the line. Can you trust your equipment? Work or play, Runnings has the gear you need to be the first one out there and the last one to leave. The farm, the field, or even at home, Runnings has what you need.
Fuller Digital Solutions started small, but now we're growing as FDS provides live streaming coverage for over 20 schools across 3 different states on our Fuller Digital Solutions YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notified when we go live for your school events. Big events are captured live, and your business can get noticed with advertising during our live streams. Local talent and camera operators are encouraged to contact us too for future employment. No experience necessary. We will train. For information about advertising or working with Fuller Digital Solutions, email us and follow us on Facebook.
47-38, 2 free throws upcoming for Janaea Cleveland and the Vermillion Tanagers, as Janaea has a chance to put it back to double digits as the Cavaliers got down to 3 and never were able to take back the lead or tie it up here in the second half. But you look back, and Vermillion at one point had the opportunity to put this one away as they led at 16 at halftime. Livy Regneris, after the missed free throw from Cleveland, they get it back with an offensive board, and Vermillion can just now move it around the perimeter. Livy Regneris with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Under 80 seconds remaining left to play. Casey Hansen tries to get a screen from Cleveland. Still Hansen with 4 seconds off the glass. She is fouled by Jaden Corton and will head to the free throw line. So Vermillion looks like in the end is going to survive a slight scare at the end of this ball game to hold on to get a win and move to 6-2 on their season, and a great mark as well for the Vermillion girls. First free throw is good for Casey Hansen, giving her now 8 points for the ball game. And again, a 6-2 mark. You talk about this season for the Vermillion girls, so young. Plenty of experience back from this year. That was a for sure. We knew that was going to happen, but just didn't really know the unknowns. And being at 6-2 here on January 10th and going into another game tomorrow, certainly like where Vermillion girls are at this year. 60 seconds remaining in the ball game. Back to an 11-point lead. It's Corton along the baseline, puts up her shot, able to knock it through. 49-40. The Cavaliers want to make a late comeback. They're going to need to do something here. Hansen just hands off to Regneris, and plenty of time escaping off the clock. It's Voss. Even a foul would just be 2 free throws no matter what. We've reached double bonus a long time ago for the Tanagers. Cleveland back out to Jensen. Jensen hands it to Livy Regneris with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Now under 30 seconds remaining in the ball game. The Tanagers are going to be able to hold on for a win. Janaea Cleveland with 5 seconds to Hansen. Catch and shoot 3, knocks it down. Casey Hansen hits a big 3-pointer, 52-40. She now has 12 points in the ball game, and the final 10 seconds will bleed away. Vavruska drives in, able to lay it nicely off the glass. Inbound it to Livy Regneris. She will dribble this one out, and Vermillion will move to 6-2 on their season. The Homme Cavaliers drop to 2-6. Your final score here in Tyndall, South Dakota. Vermillion 52, Homme 42. Well, we're going to step aside for 2 minutes, and when we come back, it is the First Dakota National Bank post-game show. We'll take a look back at the end-of-game statistics and also catch up with head coach John Brooks as well. Again, Vermillion girls get the win, a final of 52-42 here on ESPN and Vermillion Streaming.
Your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality healthcare, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Olson, owner of Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. I grew up here, graduated here, and now have a business here. I'm proud to serve the community that has helped me live this dream. I have top-notch equipment, the latest in training, along with a work ethic and the desire to serve you. Should you need repairs in the future, please remember Blaine's Body Shop across from Polaris on the Highway 50 bypass in Vermillion.
Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Now online at blainesbodyshop.com.
At Knutson Family Dentistry in Vermillion, they strive to provide the highest quality patient-centered dental care in a friendly, relaxing atmosphere. Knutson Family Dentistry works hard to provide the best cosmetic, general, and emergency dental treatment in the area. With over 50 years of combined dental experience, the latest dental technology, and a professional and compassionate staff, they're your top choice for dental care. Call for an appointment at 605-857-8008. Knutson Family Dentistry of Vermillion.
Solutions. On YouTube.
Here we go. How about that? Now we got some mics working again. 52-42. 52-42 is your final score, as the Vermillion girls had to kind of hold on here in the second half to get the win over Bonhomme after Vermillion held on to a 32-16 lead at halftime, but the Cavaliers made a good run there in the third quarter, with Vermillion only scoring 4 points in the third quarter. The Cavaliers able to at one point get down to 38-33 early in the fourth quarter before the Tanagers knew they had to hit shots, also able to get the Cavaliers into a little bit of trouble, and in the end get that victory that they needed by the final score, once again, of 52-42. Big part to also Brooke Jensen, who finished with 19 points on the evening. Casey Hansen finished with 12 points of her own. Otherwise, kind of balanced scoring throughout the rest. Livy Regner is the only other starter not to score for tonight. Otherwise, Leah Herbster finished with 6 points. Chandler Cleveland finished with 2 points on the evening. Janaea Cleveland comes off the bench, gives some big minutes and also some big points as well, as she finished with 9 points in the ball game. Kenzie Mulhern finishes with 5 points in the ball game. Brooklyn Voss also had 4 points on the evening for the Vermillion Tanagers, but a good team win for the Vermillion girls to work through this game, which was going to be a difficult task for them coming off of that upset victory on Friday, but able to take care of business just the way they needed to. As we mentioned, get a victory tonight, 52-32 over the Bonhomme Cavaliers. And coming up yet here on ESPN 1015 AM 1570, we'll get you to some of the NCAA championship football game coming up here in just a little bit. But right now here on the First Dakota National Bank postgame show, we're joined quickly with head coach John Brooks, and we'll get our final take with head coach John Brooks. Coach Brooks, sometimes I think you like to put yourself through some stressful times, through some stressful games. It seemed like that first quarter was good offensive production. The Cavaliers stuck around, able to pull away, leading it 32-16. Seemed like this game was well in hand. What happened in the third quarter?
Yeah, it's one of those things of, we just told the girls, we kind of went through this a few years ago with some of our teams of just kind of having that killer instinct. And they're young, kids are young, and they just think sometimes when you're up double digits even though it's only halftime, that the game is over, and it's not. And you got to keep playing, you got to keep executing, or else exactly what happened tonight happens to you. So hopefully, lucky to get out of there with a win. I mean, give credit to Bon Homme. They made shots better than we did. They scored it better than we did. They did everything better than we did really tonight. We were just fortunate to get out of here with a win, and hopefully a good learning experience for our team.
Well, I think that also comes down to not being able to practice just because you went through such a physical game on Friday, trying to make that kind of quick transition. But this doesn't get any easier of a task. I mean, literally in 24 hours, you're going to be playing in another basketball game. So how do you make sure the girls get their proper rest that they need, continue to stay healthy with COVID right now going through the school, and make sure everything goes right for your squad against kind of a tricky Madison team?
Yeah, we just talked about that. We're going to get home at a decent time. They need to get in bed and get some rest tonight. It's going to be a long week for us. We got a lot of basketball going on, and we just obviously came off of still a big win on Friday. That was an emotional big win for us. So all those things kind of put together, we got to get rest. And I said a lot of it's just mentally. Mentally, the second half, we just kind of went to bed, and we know we can't do that against Madison tomorrow.
When it comes to this first quarter, it seemed like you had one of the best first quarters so far this season, if not the best first quarter. How do you make sure you now replicate that going throughout the rest of the season, that we always see the first quarter tonight throughout the rest of this season?
Yeah, I mean, at least scoring it. We were scoring it, but we just we still didn't defend very well. Bon Homme was getting to the rim at will. We could not keep them out of the paint tonight. So, once again, you always try to find some positives within the game, and then but also we know we have a lot to improve on. We were 10-21 from the free throw line again tonight, and that's kind of been a struggle for us all year. So hopefully we got all that stuff out of us tonight, and it's different tomorrow.
Madison Bulldogs team, as I mentioned, a kind of a tricky team. They're just 2-6 so far this season. They have played a couple common opponents that you have also seen so far. I know you really haven't got a whole lot of a look at the scout, but what can you tell us about Madison?
Yeah, very athletic team. Gary and Nelson, for them, are really, really good, can fill it up. They can shoot it from everywhere. They're both 5'11", so they can get their shots off whenever they want. And then they put 3 girls around them that are all just physical. They're going to push you around and beat you up. So they're a tough team to guard because of those two. Anytime you put 2 kids out there that can put 20 on you just like that, you know your defense is going to be challenged. So we'll have to get back to really playing good defense tomorrow night.
Well, Coach, as we say for the girls, go home and get some rest. You go home and get some rest as well. We'll catch you back here tomorrow evening, all right?
All right, thanks, Heath.
There he is, head coach John Brooks here on the First Dakota National Bank postgame show. Again, if you're just tuning here on ESPN Radio, you may be looking for some college football as the NCAA championship game has just gotten kicked off a little bit ago between Alabama and Georgia. And since everybody else clears the gym here in Tyndall, South Dakota, at the Bon Homme High School, we will clear out as well as the Vermillion girls get the win over the Cavaliers 52-42. If you're listening on Vermillion streaming, that is the conclusion of our broadcast here on Vermillion streaming. Once again, we'll catch you right around here 6:30 tomorrow evening as the Vermillion girls are back in action against the Madison Bulldogs. If you're tuned in on ESPN 1015 AM 1570, we now get you over to the NCAA College Football National Championship game between Georgia and Alabama. For Jen Ashley, I'm Heath Nimke. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening. And I don't know if that actually played. I think it did. I hope it did.
Sideline reporters on each side. Let's start with Ian Fitzsimmons.